happening, people? This is Rohit here, and in this podcast episode, I'm going to talk about my apartment hunting story in Jersey City. And this took place in 2022, and this is also a video journal for me to reflect on my experience, the strategy that I had, and what all things happened. I did record a vlog about it as well, apartment hunting vlog in Jersey City, but there I wouldn't have covered so much because I'm showing and doing a lot of different things. But then now when you look at that vlog and when you hear me talk, it will be a you will be able to put things together because what all things are going in my head. But in the vlog, you're just keeping it to the detail, but it is what it is. But now that I get time to reflect on it, since it's been 2 years, 2022, and now it's 2024, I'm like, good strategy and what all. That's what I'm going to discuss about today. So let's get started. 2021 was when I actually made my apartment hunting a huge strategy kind of era, and that was in Philadelphia. I recorded another podcast about it. Make sure to watch that as well. But coming back 2022, now the level of confidence that I had for apartment hunting increased because I already know what needs to be done, and I was like, okay, I need to do this, I need to do that. Let's get started. I was like, okay, we are doing this. It shouldn't be hard. At least that's what I thought. It shouldn't be hard because I already know what to do. I'll do this, and I was like, huh. Little did I realize that I was so wrong with that. So in the beginning, I made it clear that if I was to shift, it's going to be from Philadelphia to Jersey City directly. And this was during the summer, so I was working on campus at Rutgers Camden. So I was looking for places during work. I mean, whenever there was break, I was like, okay, I need to. I was shortlisting places. I was talking to them, and I also realized that there are not a lot of, and I realized the huge difference in the prices, like the rent price just increased. And again, I would have mentioned in the other video, Philadelphia, of all the cities, metropolitan cities in the east coast, is comparatively less. And then here I'm right outside New York City, and you're trying to shortlist places to be closer to Rutgers, Newark, which is where I was going to start my graduate school. So I'm looking for places Harrison, Kearney, Jersey City, and then where all I can commute from. Looking at all those possibilities as to, okay, if I have to calculate here because I was working and so many things were going on in my head. You're trying to start a new academic journey at the same time. So many struggles that you're going through, and then a lot of people suggested, oh, I can. A lot of people going to NJIT, Rutgers, Newark. They were like, you know what, you should. A lot of people. I heard a lot of people say that they use Facebook and all that. I'm kind of hindering to talk so much about it because of the stupid thing which happened, but let's just dive into that as well. I started using Facebook. I opened a new account and I was looking for places and I was texting people. But I sent so many texts that Facebook thought I mean, some bot might have done it. They thought I was spam or fake account. And they sent me, oh, you need to verify your account and you need to send a picture of your ID or face, something of that sort. I did it. I did everything that was asked for, but still I was denied. And then they permanently deleted my account. I was like, okay, once it was fine. I'm not going to do all this again. This feels like it's not going. It's proving to be futile. It's not going anywhere, proceeding anywhere. I did not see any progress in Facebook, but I feel most of the other Indian international students, they are finding people from there. I'm like, okay, their strategy worked. So I was like, what should I do? And then my uncle once said that not a lot of places will actually be listed online, so maybe the best option is to go there in person and get that thing done. I was like, that's actually not a bad option because I'm more of the person who likes to go in person and get things done. It's very old fashioned, but uh, I think it also makes for a good story, right? So I remember the first day I shortlisted 2 3 places, and then I was like, I'm just going to go there and see what happens. Actually, it was 3 places. From morning to afternoon I worked, and then I took the train, first the river line and then the train, NJ transit train from Trenton to Newark, and then from Newark I took the path. And I remember my first day of commute from my uncle's place in Central Jersey. There I had to take path, so it was more like good memory for me. After 1 year I'm going through the path subway network again. I was like, huh, I do remember that day. I was like, that's so special because that's my first day, and you're like, ooh, Harrison, that Red Bull Stadium, so many things, and everything just felt new, magical. And now I'm starting my new academic journey itself, and then again I'm going through paths. So definitely a very wonderful kind of experience that was. And then I came to Church City, and I walked so much that day. I was like, I was going north south. Here the Indian street, I went shortlisted place at Indian Street, and that was my first time going to a place like Indian Street. I was like, so many horns. It definitely felt like India. I was like, oh my god, that was definitely deafening. But after that, now I don't hear so many horns. It was just that day because of traffic jam, something like that. Then I went to a place there, and then there are like 7 8 people living together, and then for that room it was $200, which was very cheap, but at the same time, bathroom, everything, it felt like very old place. So many things was just not good. And then I was kept walking around the whole area. I walked on Pavoni Avenue, Newark Avenue, and then I was Jersey City. I walked so much that day. And then I remember I was still walking, and you have to. I mean, I did not eat my breakfast. I did not eat my lunch. I just had one apple in between, and then after work at Rutgers Camden, I just left the work early just to go. I mean, I could. It's summer, so I could work 9 to 5, 40 hours per week. But still, I was sacrificing that part just to go to look at houses. And then for me it's more like, even my bosses, they were understanding, so they're like, fine, go ahead. So, and then you're coming here, I was getting tired, and then in between I was asked, the one thing which is the critical detail in the highlight in this whole video is, I was asking for each person for places. And I was like, hey, do you have a place? Hey, do you know anyone? Hey, is there apartment for rent? But the other thing is, I was also had that mindset that I'm not going back home until I find a place. That was the kind of mindset that I had. And they were shortlisted and all that. We are waiting for their appointment to come, because the other people, they are not here at home, they were at college or at work, so many other aspects. I remember going in a street, I was asking two people, and then I just sat down there on the near the pavement, and then these two people are calling. You're like, you know what? Just relax. You seem very desperate to get a place, so just relax for a bit. And they were making some calls as, and I remember taking a few vertical shots, because that time I did not have my YouTube channel started yet. Between the first week, so I was just doing everything vertical for my own video journal purpose. So when I was doing that, I was recording and telling him like, these people are helping and all. And then nearby there was one person who said that, I think I might know someone, their neighbor were leaving, and then rent would be around like 850 900. And then they were calling that person, and the landlady spoke to me, and she was like, the person is going to come back at night 9 p.m, so maybe you can wait. That is one option. So from 4 p.m, 5 p.m, when I reached there, I had like 4 hours, and I was walking around, and I realized another group of three people, actually three Indians, they are also students. And one of them actually was a YouTuber. Now I don't think she has a channel. So that was the inspiration in a way, because during my vertical shots I was talking about like, hey, this person is YouTuber, and she was also saying, hey, you can check out my channel and subscribe and all that. So my friends slightly encouraged, you know what, you should also start your channel. And that was like brainstorming session which happened that day. But before that itself, I had that channel idea, but that's for another video. And then we three people are there. They are also, they already had a place, but they wanted to move in together, because three people, three different places, they were having issue with their own thing. And I think that day, I remember at the end they told me, they have been doing this apartment hunting for the last 6 months, but in one day, the few hours where I did, they felt like I did a lot more than 6 months. They had more progress today, because we were walking around places, and then I met them as like Beacon Apartments. We went to shortlist, and then fighting place of, and I was also a very different person. I was like very socially, like I was talking, I was having burst of energy. And then, because I remember after a few months after I moved in, I mean, I know I'm jumping ahead. A few months after I moved, I met these people again in between, and they're like, I don't know how to introduce. I would say hi. This person, they were talking for me. They're like, oh, this guy has so much energy. Like he talks so much, and they were saying good stuff, which I'm definitely grateful for. But then we are looking for places. Coming back to the story, looking for places here, there. But there are a few instances where they did not say certain things. Their vibe was very different, which I'm not trying not to put anyone down. Same time, they were saying stuff, because in Philadelphia, my roommates, I had diversity in my roommates. I never lived with any Indian international students before. So the kind of growth that I had, it's because of my own. There's like blank slate theory, where I came and was doing things on my own, and then these people, they are having some kind of influence, friends and all that. So you are growing because of them. That's a different story. But having a person of color as a roommate, and me being very close to him and all that, and these people, they are discussing about something, and then I'm trying to indirectly tell the story, so please bear with me. So they were saying something. I was like, this area, that area. I was like, I wanted the answer to come straight to me, and then they're like, oh, it's because of people of color, the noise, and they're saying some stuff which I personally did not like. And for me also, I was like, I don't want to, in a way, live with these people. So my mindset became that way. But still, we are walking around trying to find places. I was the one asking around, hey, is there any place? Hey, is there? So I remember once while crossing a place, and there was a father and a son sitting outside on the steps. And it's summer, right? So you're just having fun. They're sitting outside, weather is nice. So we are actually very tired, and then I asked the father, and he was like, yeah, he actually asked me. He asked me in Hindi, like, are you looking for place or something? But we are also when you look at us, you'll know that we are also doing apartment hunting. But then when I asked, and he asked, I was like, I think I might know someone. And then he gave a call to another person, and they told that they'll send pictures and contact information, all of that sort. So that part was done, and then we kept walking. They gave us water bottles, so that was nice. He asked the son to go and get water bottles. I was like, oh, I just got to the water. And I knew that I had a lot of time. During that time only went to Beacon, and then came back because 9 p.m. I had this appointment. I went to talk to this student from NJIT. He showed me the place, and then he told me $850, and he was giving me few tips as to, like, I can stay in Hanson or here, there, and all. So I was just getting. But for me, the main point was, you know what, let's shortlist a place before I go back home. That was my idea. But $850, it seemed okay at that point. And then I felt satisfied for me to actually get away from my oath and go back home. So while going back at home, I okay, $850, and my uncle was, you know what, that's kind of cheap for that place, so it's better to take it as well. And I was like, fine, because that was like 6 people. Each one had their own private bathroom too, own room, own private bathroom, and the kitchen was common. But the vibe I got was, you need, there did not seem to be some roommates, kind of good roommates equation among them. So each one felt their own. So my point, mom's point was like, it does not feel that good to live in a place where you don't know anyone and all that. So you need to, she had the Indian mentality, which is fine, which is actually collectivist mentality, so which is good. I like that, even because in Philadelphia all four of us knew each other, like there was good bonding, right? So roommates were friends, so that's another story. Roommates being roommates or roommates being friends, pros and cons, so much is there. But here it felt, at that point, in that mindset of what I was going through, it felt okay, and I was going back home. But here you have to realize it's already been, it's late night, so getting the path train to Newark was a big deal, like because there was one train for every 30-40 minutes. And then from Newark I'm going to Trenton, that is like 1 hour something if I'm not wrong. So I reached Trenton around 11:30, something like that. And there was, the main thing is I need to take River Line and go back to Philadelphia, River Line to Camden, and then two more trains to go back to my home. Or there was another train from Trenton to Philadelphia, that train frequency was gone. This River Line stopped working, so I was stuck in Trenton station. So I was like, but I think the main part was being calm whatever happened. So that was one thing which I really feel I did great. But after that, I called my roommate, and then a person of color roommate, by the way. I'm very proud. I love him. His name is Jay. I've made videos with him. He's just amazing. And he called his sister, and the sister came to pick me up. And that day, I stayed at the sister's place. And next day morning, again, I had to wake up at 6. Took the train. She dropped me at the train station. Like, I mean, a good relationship with her. She's also close to me, so she dropped me at the train station, and then I took the train back to work directly. I think I brushed with my finger or something like that. I did not go prepared. But then I went back to work the next day, and then continued work, and then went back home, freshened up. But then this happened on a Tuesday. Yeah, I remember it happened on a Tuesday. And after that, I did not, because I just got the contact. I saw pictures. For me, when I hear of people doing video calls to see places, I'm like, okay, that is fine. Because I did the same for my other roommate who moved in with me, so I was like showed around. But it did not feel that satisfying. Seeing it in person is very different experience. Talking to the people involved, different experience. So I'm more old-fashioned that way. But here the mindset for me to not go home without shortlisting place, I personally like that. And then trying to when you think of it, the story, it's more like you're going asking. I don't know the number of people I actually asked to, but I was asking every single person I passed by. Hearing a no did not affect me. That's the main thing here. Those two things, hearing no didn't affect me, and not going home without finding a place, that mentality, that's what you're putting yourself in a pressure situation. So much pressure that you actually want to get things done. So that was my mentality, which I really like. And others actually pointed, you have this mentality, which is, I'm like, that's like daredevil kind of move in a way, right? You're knocking on people's door and then being friendly and asking for place, because I was desperation that way. I remember in between when I called, because the neighbor, remember I told that two people were helping me, and like, be calm, don't sound desperate when you talk, because right now you're talking that way, but then it is what it is. And then the next week, like this happened Tuesday, the next Tuesday I wanted to go back, shortlist every single thing. So that day only I recorded the whole vlog. You can go watch the apartment hunting in Jersey City video. Here I actually shortlisted a place in Newark, but then there's like two girls, and then they didn't seem to be good bonding. It felt more like you're on your own, you're for your own, all those kind of situation. Place was in whatever, it was nice, but then the contract, how it works, so many different legalities, because all three of us together are signing contracts, so we are all bonded that way. So each one, you need to be responsible, rather than each one gets their own contract. So many different things, if you, the way how you sign contract, the way how the contract is designed, you have to go through it. So all this was new to me. I did not have so much experience going through all of it, but everything has its own first time. So after Newark, again I went back to Jersey City. In between, I was talking to people like the bus driver. He's really nice. Ken, I still talk to him to this day whenever I take the shuttle. He was telling about Harrison, Newark, or Jersey City, or what are pros and cons. I was also weighing the pros and cons. In between, in subway, I was talking to students and asking them the pros and cons. Like, what do you like best? What's happening? So many things, and everything I'm doing alone, right? So for me, it's more like I need to take care of myself. Need to mend for my own. In Jersey City, again, I was walking around a few times, and then remember the father and son sitting on steps. It actually happened to be the same house, but first floor. So I waited for the people to come, and then I went, saw the place, and then luckily that person was moving out the end of the month, right when I actually needed the place. So it was more like she moved out in the morning, I was moving in the afternoon. That was the situation. So I was talking to the person, and then the other two people, they are not Indians as well. So they were, one was from Puerto Rico, and both are Americans, but the origin, like, one person only speaks Spanish, one guy, one girl. The girls from Puerto Rico, the guys from El Salvador. So again, I'm not living with Indian international students, so everything was new experience. Trying to talk to the roommates before getting to know them, so that there's no clashes later. Getting to know each one's type and all of that. But then you're trying to make sure everything goes well. After all of this, yeah, it there was sense of contentment, because I got that thing done, and this is for $800. Here again, pros and cons. I think it's going to be there, but at least got that shortlisted, and there was a sense of relief in me that day itself. While going back home in the train itself, I paid the advance, and that felt like, okay, the place is sorted. Next thing is the work situation. I need to find work on campus. So many things running in my head, but I think it's all about, now that I think of it, definitely I handled it well. And yes, here and there, people are going to give you advice. People are going to say, oh, mentor, and be like, okay, this is what, but they're not doing it for me. But there's no spoon feeding here. It's all about doing things on my own and enjoying the process. And now I'm getting to share this as a story of things that happened 2 3 years before. 2 years actually, but the Philadelphia is 3 years. Now when I shared, yes, it's like, oh, I did this, I did that, but at that point I embraced that journey, because I knew that 2 3 years down the line I'll be able to share the story with pride. And this is something which you don't get to hear from much Indian international students, saying this kind of story. For me, since I did not know anyone around in the area, did not have anyone in the course or friends or things like that, that's why I was forced to mend for myself, and it also made me more and more independent. And that's something I'm really grateful for. Definitely life changing experience in a lot of ways. The Philadelphia one, when you watch the video, you'll realize this apartment hunting in Jersey City, that kind of story that I had. Because when I have never met another person who can share this kind of story, and this matter of pride, and I'm not trying to be egoistic or boast about it, but At the same time, there's like huge matter of pride that I received because of the apartment hunting story. That uniqueness in this apartment hunting story, trying to tell people that, hey, I got this place because I was talking to people on the road, and without giving up, and being able to say that I got this place, just having that mentality of not going home itself without shortlisting the place. Because the second time when I went home, I actually went home and I did not have to call her and ask me stay at her place. So that's all this. I'm like, wow, because I remember those 3 days and the rent was high, because in Philadelphia it was around 500, 550, 550 or 600. No, I don't remember exactly. 650, yeah, 450 to 650 range. I think it was 650 if I'm not wrong. 550, yes, 550, yeah, that was the final. And then suddenly a jump to 800, and you're giving the advance, and then the first month, so you need to save that money. So in the 3 days, because I was also having another issue going on. See, I'm trying to figure out the work part, I'm trying to figure out the house part, academic journey yet to start. So summer was all about working, trying to make money on campus, and on top of that you're trying to so many expenses involved. And then driver license, I wanted to get that done in Philadelphia itself because I got my learning permit there, and I wanted to get the original driving license there as well. So I had actually more for Monday, I practiced around Jay's place, and then Wednesday. Last time it was Tuesday, last week it was Tuesday where I actually went and did all the apartment hunting. But this time to confirm, I actually went on a Wednesday. So the next Wednesday. So in that Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, on 3 days, I actually vlogged for road test. I actually vlogged for the apartment hunting. Tuesday also I had some other work to do. So in the 3 days, I think I took like 18 trains or something. It was like one, two, River Line, 10, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I think it was around 18-ish trains in 3 days. 18 to 23 trains. I need to do the exact calculation. I don't want to waste the time on this blog. So counting that, but 18 to 23 trains, and those 3 days, 72 hours, I had like two meals. And that Wednesday, when you look at that apartment hunting in Jersey video, that halal card, that place where actually it's very meaningful, because I remember when I first moved to Philadelphia, that I got food from that place for that day's lunch. And after getting the apartment hunting finalized for Jersey City, I'm having food again from that own place. So that was good circle in the circle of life moment for me. But then that was the actual proper meal that I was having in 72 hours. So for me, it was more like, you know what, I'm not going to spend money on food and getting all this because I want to save money for rent. So that was my mentality back then. Yeah, definitely. When I talk about right now, it's like, oh, you're proud, how to this, that, is that. But definitely life changing experiences regarding so many things, unintentional, unconscious, food insecurity issues, trying to save money as international student issues. And because for me, it's more like, I know I can ask my parents if I need anything, but at the same time, I don't want to just do it, because for me, I know that this kind of sacrifices that I'm doing, going to do, still doing what all I've done in the past. It's more like making me a better person, making me more independent, making me say that I did all of this myself rather than take help from other people. So in that way, definitely very proud of that, this kind of story, and to be able to say that yes, something like this happened. The whole theme again, it's all about gratitude, all about being independent, all about having that pride, all about having that crazy Indian international student story when it comes to apartment hunting as well, and just enjoying and embracing the journey one day at a time. And 2 years before, wow, something like that happened. I don't think, I personally can't top something like that again, but very grateful for that. Thank you all for watching. See you all in another one. Till then, bye from me.